Hey everyone, Mr. Regan here, and today we're going to be looking at how we construct a scientific argument, more specifically, how we know if something has energy. And we're going to be looking at using that argument about cola that we've looked at to figure out how we can create a more scientific argument that uses evidence so that we have a strong understanding, number one, of how we know things have energy, number two, so we can have a strong argument for what we saw in the lab, and number three, so we can then apply these ideas to how we can best help our rescue workers. So, if you remember, we looked at how does drinking cola affect your health, and we looked at how drinking cola is bad for our health, and we looked at some evidence, and we decided that this argument was not very strong. And with that, we as scientists use different tools like reasoning tools and different data tables and stuff to help us construct our ideas and explain our thinking. So today we're going to be looking at how we create a scientific argument using our reasoning tool. So our argument reasoning tool is a table that helps us organize our thinking into 5 parts. The question that we're looking to solve, the evidence that we have that helps us understand that question, the key concept or the scientific principle that helps us explain what we're observing, the reasoning, that's what we use to connect all of the evidence, the key concepts, and what we think is happening. And then the claim is the final or best solution or answer to the original question. So today we're going to look at how we use this argument tool with our cola example so that we can see how we can take what we saw with our cola example and begin to break down all of these 5 ideas so we can have a strong scientific argument. Let's take a look. So our original question was, how might a scientist create an argument for how does drinking cola affect your health? We got to look at what evidence they had in our example and how to make it better. We have to look at what key concepts we could use, and we have to look at the reasoning and claims that we can come up with at the end. So originally the argument we had was cola contains a caramel coloring ingredient called 4-ML. That was the evidence we had that maybe we tested for. We didn't have any scientific concepts in our original argument or reasoning. We just then had the claim, therefore, drinking cola is bad for your health. So without the science and the reasoning behind it, this argument becomes very weak and hard to understand. So let's look at how we can add a key concept and reasoning to make this a stronger argument. Cola contains a caramel coloring ingredient called 4-ML. One key scientific concept that many scientists know is different products can be tested on animals in order to see the effects those products have on humans. So, for example, if something we eat or drink is given to an animal, if it has a bad or a positive effect, that could also happen to humans. So, reasoning. 4-ML is a caramel coloring that has been shown to cause cancer in rats. Not good. Because the test causes cancer in rats, drinking cola can have the same effect on human health as well. So now all of a sudden, we are using this key concept, we're using this evidence to then draw the final conclusion that drinking cola is bad for your health. Notice that when we use the key concept and the evidence in our reasoning here, all of a sudden our claim makes a lot more sense. So your job is going to be to use the data you have from the lab to create an argument reasoning tool here for how you know something has energy, more specifically our systems. So how that is going to look as follows. We have our 3 systems here. You're going to put the evidence that you collected in the evidence section here. What did you observe? We have our key concept that we created. Whenever something moves or changes, it is because of energy. And then you're going to put it all together in your reasoning to make a claim. So for example, we did the solar panel in class. I observed that when the panel was connected with all the parts and placed by the light, the fan did not move. We know that when something moves or changes, it's because of energy. So here's the reasoning. The reasoning, I'm going to pull in the evidence. I'm going to pull in the key concepts to connect it to my claim. According to the key concept, we know that if something moves or changes, it's because of energy. When the fan was near the light, the fan remained still. The fan did not move or change because there was no energy from the light being used in the system. So notice, I'm using this key scientific concept, the evidence, to put it all together so that I can draw the final conclusion. So what's my final claim or conclusion? Therefore, the system, in this case the solar panel, does not have energy. This helps us to create a complete argument and one that makes sense for everyone. So your job then is going to be to explain Using the reasoning tool here, whether or not we know the battery system you created for the fan had energy, or the hand, and if the hand crank system had energy as well. So take a minute. Do you understand how to complete all 5 parts of the reasoning tool, and how to use the lab data to complete the reasoning tool in your next task? So that would be this data table here. So take a second, put your X in green if those things make sense. If one of those things is confusing, or both is confusing, go ahead and put your X in yellow or red. Reach out if you need help, and good luck.